Be a podcast,
What? What'd you say?
be the podcast intro song. Hey guys, we need a welcome to the Trying to Get Jack podcast. We need an intro song for the podcast. Like like Andy Pasella, he has like some
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
I think
We
other
should
people
make it. We should make it. Get down. No, that'd be too much, right?
what the
That's
fuck is
just
that?
how it starts the podcast. Just like get down. Just
What song do they do that? Is that something they do at the good
nah. It's
Dwyer?
not even a song, bro. It's just like how you talk to the ladies.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the podcast, guys. This is me and
No.
Kax today. Sandu Fitness. If you guys don't know, Should we share his personal life?
Oh,
No,
no.
we shouldn't. Okay. We shouldn't. But he's not available today.
He's
So
not a villain. He got kidnapped by
he
Africans.
he
He
got
can't
kidnapped.
make it in today.
Yeah, it's fine. But we're here, so we're gonna save the city. Um, Yo, so this is something you probably hear a lot, right? People come and ask you questions like, hey bro, like every time I do this crazy cut, like I lose 20 pounds, 30, 40 pounds, I just gain it all back like in a span of few months. So like I work so hard to cut it, but I just kind of lose that whole leanness pretty quick, pretty quick. What am I saying? Right? So how can I make sure next time when I cut, or if I'm end of my cut, I can maintain my leanness, bro?
Has this ever happened to you personally?
Yeah, so my first thing I did in 2017 when I got ready for the competition, men's physique, went from 196, I think 196, 94, around there to like 137, right? So lost a lot of weight, right? Whatever, starvation diet, whatever. It was really low calories, lots of cardio, whatever. Got lean stage, but then right after the competition, I went right after the competition. I went straight into like two ice caps, Chinese food, pizza, Osmos. Like I was just missing all these foods I hadn't ate for like 6, 7 months at that point. So I went from 138 to 156, I think, in like a span of 5 days. It was ridiculous. Like it was unhealthy. Bro, it was fucked.
Holy
It was
shit.
it was crazy. So I just like a lot of water, everything, and then like after like I just got back into my normal routine. Obviously, the mistake I made that time too was like I just started eating my normal calories that I was prior to my cut, that I was eating at 190, right? But I was like, oh, I'm eating clean again, so I shouldn't really gain weight. So like I did initially drop some body water, like I went to like 150, but then after that I just kept going up. Every week it was like a pound, 1.5 pounds. And I hit like a 163, 164 pretty quick in a span of like probably like 2 months. I was like 165 again. So I gained like 20, 30 pounds. Yeah, almost 30 pounds fairly fast. Um, yeah. And I think the science behind that too. All our bodies have a set point, right?
Mhm.
Trigger to a set point. So like it wants to bounce back to a comfortable place where it doesn't feel like it's starving. Since you put yourself in that starvation mode for so long and you got rid of all the fat storage, your body wants to just go back to the place it feels comfortable at. And everyone has different set points, right? But you can change that set point over time. It just takes time, which is what we'll kind of talk about. But yeah, I have gained fucking weight back pretty quick. And if I
Yeah.
look back at it, a mistake probably was made. Like I stopped doing cardio. I just fucking ate a lot of food.
But you're also going to the point where you're literally dieting to get lean for a show,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's a completely different beast from just people trying to get like maybe like a flat
Yeah,
stomach, like a
yeah,
six pack. You're
yeah,
going
yeah,
to
yeah.
really extreme levels, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
At that point, I would say like you kind of have to cut out all those foods to
Yeah,
get on stage. Whereas
for sure.
someone who's probably is getting to the six pack, like you could probably still eat like you said, the osmos or Chinese food in moderation, maybe like once a week, and still get to that position where they can lose that, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so that's kind of I'd say that's like the caveat of your situation is like when you
Yeah.
get low, like you have to do that.
Have
But
you have you done that? Like, have you gone to a place where you just got lean and bounced back?
bro, I think in all through high school, I think I lost 40 pounds 4 times.
Oh, geez, fucking circles, eh? Let's go
Up
yo-yo.
and down, up. Bro, I was at 175 at one point in high school. Go all the way down to like 129, I think. Went up, went down. I think I remember like because I have all these pictures of me, right? Being
Yeah,
fat.
yeah,
In
yeah,
between, I also have these pictures of me being really skinny.
yeah,
this is fucked. Like I was literally like multiple people. Like you know that story, a picture I posted in my
Yeah, yo, that was wild.
yeah,
That
bro.
doesn't
That
look
was
like
one of
you.
those times where I was in high school, but I was really skinny. But I can
Oh
show you
shit.
a picture, maybe like 6 months before that, where
Yeah,
I'm like this.
that's crazy, bro. That does
Um,
not look like you.
so it took me a long time to realize like
Yeah.
what else was wrong.
Okay.
And even like during COVID and stuff, like I gained all the weight back with school, COVID. And then the time I like got like really shredded was the time I was actually able to slowly increase and stay lean as I sort of increase my calories. And that was like pretty much same thing you said, like activity level.
Yeah.
Food was a lot cleaner as well.
Yeah.
Whereas before when I kind of lost the weight, I kind of just cut out everything. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, let's lose weight as fast as possible. Whereas the other
Yeah.
time, like I still had, I was still pretty strict, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, cheat meal like once every 2, 3 weeks, right? Where I just kind of eat whatever.
Yeah.
Noticed even when I was doing that cut, the foods I ate were a lot more cleaner most of the time.
Okay.
Whereas like 90/20, it wasn't like I was trying to fit foods into my macros, whereas
Yeah.
that's probably what I was doing before. But I was like eating more like rice and chicken or like rice and beef, or like I'd have
Yeah.
these salads. Like it was a healthy food, right?
Healthy food.
And
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
learned to enjoy those foods and
Mm.
be like, food doesn't have to be just like hyper processed stuff as I'm cutting. And I felt
Yeah.
like that made it really easy for me to come out of the cut because I actually enjoyed what I was eating as I was
Yeah.
going, right? It
Yeah.
was just
So I guess that's the big thing. So say like somebody's at the start where like they haven't actually cut yet, right? But they're watching this and they're gonna go through their cut. So number one thing, we don't do anything drastic where you just cut out all the foods you're eating, right? Build some sort of sustainable habits so that way you can maintain whatever leanness you get to in a sustainable way. So a couple pillars for that sounds like is make sure you're still eating enough. Like you shouldn't be feeling like you're starving, especially if you're not getting ready for a competition,
yeah, yeah.
right? Like you should feel like like when you eat, like you mentioned, rice, high volume food, you can have more with not that much calories. Beef, chicken, high volume, satiating. Sure, you're having good amount of veggies and stuff on the side, hopefully. Maybe.
I used to do a big bowl that was like this
Yeah.
big every
Yeah, yeah,
night.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like a salad, straight like veggie, like lettuce, tomato, whatever. And I
Yeah.
do protein on top. And that's what I had literally like every night when I wanted to get shredded. Is like I just have this big bowl of
Yeah.
salad.
That's one of the biggest hacks, yeah, in cutting. Just have fucking lots of veggies. So your brain's like, holy shit, it's giving me so much food.
It's food.
But it's not calorically dense, so you still
Oh,
lose weight. Yeah. So that's number one. Build good habits at the start of your cut, so your end of your cut becomes easier by eating better and having good habits. And again, other things habits wise could be making sure you're moving enough steps. You're not just taking the route of like I'm just gonna go extreme or cardio and really low calories. Build something that's in your life, right? So steps, making sure you're walking consistently, eating veggies, protein, carbs consistently, good healthy foods, sleeping consistently. You're not just spamming cardio, right? If you're doing it in that fashion, the end of the cut should be a little bit easier, right?
yeah. I'd say
Yeah,
enjoy the activity that you do, whether that's steps or
there you
cardio.
go.
Like actually like the cardio that you do. Like if you're
Yeah,
cutting
yeah,
and every time you step on a treadmill or a stairmaster, you're like, yo, fuck my life. I hate this.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Gonna do it once you stop cutting, right? Because that goal.
100%.
Whereas like I know when I cut down, I didn't have access to a treadmill or anything.
Yeah.
So all I do is get my steps in. And like
Okay.
that is something I learned to enjoy
Yeah.
because even after the cut ended, like I would still go out and get my steps in, right?
Yeah.
So like if you guys are like doing cardio for your cut,
Yeah.
you absolutely hate the treadmill or the stairmaster, go find something that you like to do
Yeah.
and do that as cardio, whether it's like playing a sport or it's like going for a run or riding your bike or whatever, like
Yeah.
skating, whatever it
Yeah.
is, like find something you like because that's something you can do after you cut.
Okay.
That's gonna like to transition out of that a lot easier, I feel like.
I agree. I agree. And thing is, if you like start enjoying these things, this game becomes really simple, right? It's like when you cut or bulk, you're eating the same shit, doing the same shit. It's just the volume and portions change. So it's not something drastic. We're like, oh, I'm on a diet now. And if you're that guy every summer on a diet, right? Every winter, you're like, I'm trying to gain size. Everything just becomes routine. You're just like, oh shit, okay, I was gonna increase this, lower this, replace this with replace this, and everything becomes like a habit. That's what
Mhm.
you want. That's what leads to long-term gains, right? So I guess that would be the first step. Now the second step is like, say we're at the end of the cut, we've lost 40 pounds, we're pretty lean. How do you get out of this hole without just gaining all the weight back? What would be the first thing?
think first thing, enjoy some food. Maybe that first weekend.
Yeah, okay.
There's some meals that you kind of cut out from your life, especially
Yeah,
maybe um because I think as much as we don't like to talk about it or don't want to admit, food is still a way for us to kind of feel good, reward ourselves.
for
So
sure.
like maybe that first one or two meals, like you kind of go out, you have like the meal out with your friends or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Um, but just know that just because the cut's over doesn't mean the job is finished,
yeah,
right? You want to do this for the rest of your life, so can't just eat back whatever you just kind of suppress yourself for the past like 6 or so months,
yeah.
right? So
That's true.
take the 1, 2 meals to kind of enjoy, and
Yeah,
then I would say just like realize that okay, now let's get back to work. Let's do the thing that we're kind of doing before.
yeah.
Especially when it comes to food. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. Same thing. Like after you, and again, like if you actually follow the stuff you said prior, you may not even have that many cravings with your like, holy shit, I just want to eat everything in sight. The thing I was mentioning for the competition thing is like I was at a point starving so much, right, that I was just in my head, I was just fucking craving all these foods, right? But if you did it in a sustainable fashion where you were eating healthier, still eating clean, yes, there has to be some sort of restriction, right? That's what leads to over time, getting to the cut physique that you want. But if you did it in the right fashion, you might just have like one or two meals, a couple desserts, whatever. And if you just increase a little bit of volume in your normal foods, you'll be like, oh, I feel fine. Like I don't like crave that much foods. Your craving shouldn't be that bad. If your fiber, veggies, protein, everything is already pretty decent. But yeah, same thing. Enjoy. And couple people like I know I don't know if you've faced this before, but a couple people like, yo, like, fuck, bro, I fucked up this weekend and like I went off plan, whatever. And maybe this is besides the whole cutting thing, but they eat so much food and then like, I'm just gonna burn it off the next day, bunch of cardio. But as much as you try, you can never out exercise calorie intake, right? I think Steve Cook has a video online, bro. This guy had 10,000 calories, right, one day, and the next day he tried burning 10,000 calories based on like a watch or like some sort of strap. And he trained fucking all day, biking, running, everything. And I think he hit 5,700 calories burnt
Oh,
training all day. So you literally can try your balls off, like just to do cardio, whatever you can. We literally can't outburn it, right? So just make sure in your mind, like, okay, I'm just enjoying this. It's okay if I put on a little bit of fluff again. It's fine. But if I get back in rhythm, which we'll talk about now, is what are the steps after you've enjoyed that weekend to make sure you maintain whatever you worked for, you maintain that leanness. So number one, I would actually personally say is a lot of us when we get out of the cut, we're like, okay, yo, I'm just gonna stop doing this cardio now. I'm gonna stop going on my walks, hitting my step goal. I'm gonna stop like that class I joined for basketball, whatever, because I've finished my cut. But that's the opposite of what you want to do. You just expended all this energy, so your body needs the calories, but it doesn't have it, so that's why I was losing weight, right? But now you're taking all that energy expenditure out, but you're still eating the same. Well, your body is gonna be like, oh shit, I'm not expending that much but still eating this much, that means whatever extra I have, I'm just gonna use that fat storage just in case in the future he doesn't feed me again, right? So just make sure like you don't take away all the energy expenditure. You just like maybe remove one session of cardio, maybe like 1,000 steps, right? Initially. But yeah, that's the first thing I would say is like, yo, don't just remove all your energy expenditure, right? Yeah.
yeah,
What
keep
was
it in there. I
keep
think
it in
I think I talked about this a little bit earlier where it's like
there?
enjoy what you're doing, right? So like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
so actually making sure your activity level is in there because at the end of the cut, man, you did the thing. So you're gonna want to eat food. So if you want to
yeah,
eat food, last thing you want to do is stop moving as much so
yeah,
you can actually enjoy the food, right? So keep moving, like Ronan said, reduce it a little bit,
yeah,
and then that's when you want to slowly increase your food rate, which is the next step. Like you don't
yeah,
want to just go back to eating whatever calories you're eating at when you're 30, 40 pounds heavier.
yeah,
Um, because your body's not ready for that. Your body is gonna adapt and reduce its calorie expenditure as you're dropping weight. So you have to slowly adapt the other way, right? If you just
exactly.
make big giant jump up to
Mm,
whatever calories you're at before,
yeah,
it's gonna gain weight again, right? And
yeah,
that's the thing where like I think I kind of fucked up on was that I thought
yeah,
we were adding I thought it was too much time. Like I was like, oh, I don't think this is worth it. I'll just go back to a little bit
yeah,
less than the maintenance calories I had before. And I was like, I should be good because I
yeah,
lost this weight. Um, but your body's it adapts very differently, right? So
100%.
you just jump up. like 600 calories, 700 calories, you're just gonna put on extra water and extra fat,
Yeah.
and your weight's gonna skyrocket, right? Whereas
Yeah.
if you take the maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks to slowly bump your calories up by 100,
Yeah.
I think you're in a much better spot because you might even still lose weight, right? As you're sort of coming out of that
Yeah.
drop in calories, you're gonna notice more energy. You're gonna still feel leaner, and everything's just gonna feel a lot better if you do it gradually, as opposed to if you just take that shortcut and bump it all the way up to that end maintenance that you think you're supposed to be at.
Yeah. I agree. Honestly, like I think different situation and context matters too. If someone did a long cut, lost a lot of weight, then yes, like this is something I always tell us like, yo, increase calories maybe by like 150 every 10, 12 days based on what your body weight looks like. And you can even like get specific with the calories. It's like 75% of it carbs, 25% of it fats. Keep the protein same. Hopefully your protein is high the whole time, right? And then see your body weight. If it's staying the same or changing slightly, then increase another 50, another 50, another 50, whatever it is. And then over time, you get to your maintenance calories per se, right? But quick point you brought up is your body's energy expenditure starts going up or whatever. And like over time, like as your body weight goes down, the expenditure goes down in terms of how many calories you need, right? Because our bodies are mad smart. It becomes efficient, right? This is like your brain's basically working like this, right? It's like, okay, yo, bro, like this guy, he wants to do all these things. Initially, he was giving me this much calories. He still wants to do these many things. So how can I do the same things he's doing now without requiring as much calories? So it gets
Mhm.
efficient, and what that means is your body doesn't need as many calories anymore. So you bumping your calories back to the normal state is just gonna gain the weight back, right? Also, you're not the same weight you were previously, so your maintenance has changed. If you just think about it in that sense, like logically speaking, it doesn't make sense, right? One caveat to that, if somebody is doing like a mini cut, like they've only cut for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, like a small cut, they lost like, 8 to 12-ish pounds. You can just bump your calories back to maintenance in most cases, and you'll be fine. Because that's not long enough a period where your body has made adaptation to the lower calories, right? But if you did a massive cut, right, where you lost 40 pounds, where most people end up being, and that's where we're talking to here, and they just yo-yo back, please reverse diet, slowly add the calories back in, um, and slowly remove the energy expenditure. If you're enjoying what you do, then you won't have to even remove too much of it. And then I guess the third point I would pretty much say is like when you get to the calorie mark where like you're maintaining eating enough again, I want you to hold that. Like hold that place for a little while, right? Instead of just going back into a bulk again, just give your body some break, man. Like give your body like, some maintenance calories and eat enough and stay lean. Like let your body get used to staying lean. And this is to the topic of the set point thing I was talking about earlier, right? If you just go back to your bulking, your body's gonna skyrocket again to the weight it wants to get to where it's comfortable at. So you gotta teach your body, be like, yo, like I wanna stay lean. Like I want to maintain the shape that I have. Again, you'll have some fluff. You won't be as lean as you were at the end of the cut, but you'll still have good amount of shape, and you want to hold that. Most of us don't hold it. I used to never hold it. I used to finish a cut and start bulking again because I'm like, well, I gotta put on muscle, right? Because we all realize how small we are at the end of the cuts, right? But still maintain leanness because this is where you're sensitive to putting on nice muscle. So even at maintenance, you'll start putting on some muscle just because your body has been not used to that many calories, right? So I guess we can go right into training, right? How would you adjust training coming out of the
Maybe your first week out of the cut, you might
yeah,
want to take a little bit of a break, maybe take either a couple days off or just
yeah,
reduce the volume, take like a little bit less intensity, a little bit less volume, kind of take that week easier, just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because you've put your body through this huge stress of cutting out nutrients essentially. It's
yeah,
probably really depleted at the end of the cut.
yeah,
Uh, you probably feel like mentally a little bit fatigued too. So take a little bit of a break. And then maybe after that first week, half a week, then I would like start to slowly add things to training as you get more food because now you have more energy. You're gonna feel really, really good. The
yeah,
pumps when you're lean and you're getting more food in you are gonna be
juicy.
fucking juicy. So
Yeah,
if you want to take pictures and stuff, now is probably the best time to take all your pictures because
100%.
you're not just flat from cutting. Now you're also like getting
Yeah,
carbs in too, so you're gonna look really good. Uh, so just learn to enjoy training again, right? Like you're
yeah,
gonna start to make progress again in the gym, whereas
yeah,
before, like that might have been slow, especially if you're like super, super lean. So
yeah,
now you can see, enjoy the actual training that's happening. You can feel pumps. And I slowly increase the volume as you start to increase more food. Don't just like rapidly increase volume because
Yeah,
then your body's fried again. You're giving it another stimulus, which it's not ready for.
yeah,
But yeah, man, this is probably when training was the most fun for myself as well, is when I got shredded. And then when you come out of it, like
yeah,
you start to gain a lot of that muscle. If you lost any muscle, that starts to come back a lot faster too. Things just start to
yeah,
fill up. It's like newbie
yeah,
gains all over again, right? So
yeah,
like enjoy that's like my favorite part, literally, of my
yeah.
fitness. Is like when you come out of that.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And bro, honestly, I would say like this is something I didn't take advantage of enough because we're like, okay, I just gotta gain weight back, right? Even after maintaining whatever, I was like, okay, I'm bulking. That means weight has to go up, right? But it's like, yo, if your performance keeps increasing week by week, I would milk that as long as you possibly can instead of trying to add more weight to your body. Like, you don't need to add weight. You can just stay the same weight. Your performance keeps increasing, milk that as long as possible. And then as the performance starts to get a little bit stagnant, okay, start upping your calories and start focusing on your body weight increasing again. So this could literally be like a solid fucking 12 to 16 week process after your cut's finished. Even longer. You can literally do like a reverse diet and then a recomp for like half a year if you wanted to. And then that's when you'll be like, oh shit, like, yo, I'm pretty lean, but I'm getting bigger and bigger. And then now you have a nice foundation to like obviously build off. And yes, the most efficient way to put on muscle is be in some sort of surplus, right? It's gonna just kind of check the boxes. But initially you may not need to be in a surplus and you can still be putting on some muscle. So take advantage of that.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
the reason for that is because you've been so depleted for such a long time, right? So
Yeah.
like body is now it's so
Resensitized.
efficient with how it's using resources. Now that
Yeah.
you're giving resources, like you said, it's now sensitized to just use that shit as
Juicy.
best as it can because it's like
Yeah.
you didn't have water for a long time. No, I was never mind.
Okay, that's fine. And then like this is something too where training becomes even more important. Like a lot of us are really dialed in and disciplined when we're cutting, right? Because we have this direction and we see the scale changing, we see the physique changing. So we're like constantly getting this dopamine hits of like every fucking 2 weeks my physique is changing. Or you see the V taper coming in, you see like a bicep wane, whatever it is, right? You see that, so you get excited, but this phase outside of the cut, if you can get disciplined in this part, this is when you'll see the most amount of gains. And then once you go into your surplus, if you can be as disciplined with your training as you were prior, all that discipline you use for cardio, meals, all that stuff, if you use that for your training, this is where all the gold is built. And this is where the physiques are kind of built, right? If like okay, actually putting on muscle. So please don't switch off the mentality right after your cut. Maybe take that week, like you were saying, right? Or maybe take 2 weeks, whatever, personality dependent, right? But then rediscipline yourself and maybe set a goal of like, yo, I'm gonna hit like this number on the bench press, RDL, dumbbell row, pull up, whatever it is, have another goal you're chasing. That way you get disciplined again to start making sure your training performance is improving. Because this is where the gold and muscle is built, right? So please don't lose that discipline.
Yeah, this is probably the time where it separates between the people who are like, "Oh, yo, I used to be shape in the back. I used to be in shape back in the day,"
Yeah,
and the people who are still in shape because
yeah,
able to go from that and still maintain that same drive and discipline throughout. Whereas
yeah,
people were like, "Yo, I got a six pack when I was like back in high school, back in university type shit,
yeah,
and gain all the way back, right?" So like,
yeah,
you don't want to be that guy, and we all
yeah,
know who we're talking about, right? Like,
yeah,
these probably people in your life who are like, "Yo, I was in shape back in the day." Even your dad or your uncle might have said it, right? But it's like
yeah,
be like that and you actually want to make this a long-term lifestyle, it starts with you coming out of the cut, understanding the job is never finished. This is what you want to do for the rest of your life and you want to maintain it. You want to make sure like you're good for yourself, you're good for your family, you're good for your kids or whatever. Like this way that starts, right?
yeah. And like over time, your goals may change. Like, you want to get good at a sport, like we are talking before this, like golf or some shit. Or like you want to get good at running, like I was talking about, or like jumping or sprinting, or some like jiu-jitsu, some boxing, whatever it is. But never go in the mindset, yo, I'm just gonna maintain this. Because right when you do that, your body is comfortable now, and then I don't mean in like a wrong way, but like you should feel a little bit uncomfortable in terms of working towards a goal, right? And it should excite you that you have something to work towards some direction. And you may have to force yourself sometimes, but having that direction just make sure you keep checking boxes, right? And again, choose things that you want to actually want to do. Don't just do things because you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this, like for health or whatever. It's like choose something you enjoy, right? Again, there'll be some pillars that you always want to check off, like some sort of movement, some sort of lifting, so you know everything stays strong, your bones are strong, whatever. some protein intake, diet protocols, whatever, but like you can still over time change up the goals, but just never think I'm just gonna maintain this. Because once you get in the mindset, you just start going downhill, right? But yeah, those are good. I think we added covered a lot of shit, right? So summary wise, make sure you have good habits initially, right?
Do your
Don't
cut, do
just
your cut properly.
do your cut pot. We'll make another pot. I probably did a podcast on cutting properly, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I
we'll do
think
another one. We'll do another one. And then making sure that you don't just take away all the cardio steps, everything, and then you found something that's fun so you can continue to use it in your life and it's sustainable long term. Third was reverse.
slowly bump your cal. I think we forgot about enjoying that first week or so where you drop training a little bit, maybe
Okay.
take deload, devolume,
Yeah.
enjoy a little bit of food during that first week, maybe
Yeah.
week or 2 weeks, whatever it is. But then slowly, once you get back to it, get back to your regular nutrition and slowly ramp up calories over like whether that's 50 or 100 calories
Yeah.
over the however many weeks it takes you to get back to your maintenance, right? Wait for
Yep.
your weight to fluctuate to kind of even out and then enjoy training.
Inter training.
Start to set some PRs, set some goals for yourself when it comes to your training.
Yeah.
Actually, forward to the pumps you have in the gym.
Yeah.
Set some new goals, right? And then, like you were saying, just learn to expand yourself outside of just your physique. You might just be keeping that same body weight, but
Yeah.
like you got different
Other
goals.
goals.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Have something to work towards. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Eh?
really enjoyed. Let
Gang,
us
gang.
know. Talk about, drop it in the comments below. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
listening.
Easy. Also, one more thing. I want to ask for something. Whoever does watch up till here, right? The whatever 5, 10, 30 people, just one thing. Just tell one more person about it if like you actually enjoy the podcast. It goes a long way. We don't really like ask for shit, but even though we don't have many people to ask for stuff, but just ask, they'll tell one person. If you actually enjoy it, like tell one person. It goes a long way.
In this, it's been like 40 episodes. We've been making these podcasts. We never ever ask for one person to share or listen to this shit, bro. This is
Actually,
the
yeah,
first time.
that's
So
crazy.
share this
Yeah,
shit if you're watching.
share this. Yeah. Okay. Easy.